What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about SoundHound. Absolutely kick-ass day. I want to break it down on what's really prompting it to go higher, what the data points are saying, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 18.71%, 952 the low, 1122 the high. So when it comes down to today, the broader market is booming because of this. So in a day and a half of negotiations, the States and China came to a 90-day kind of reduction. And so China is going to be reducing their tariffs on the States to 10%, and the States will be reducing their tariffs on China to 30%. Very good improvement. And even Trump did state that even after the 90 days, he doesn't see it going back to 145. So I think overall that's pretty good stuff, and the market's kind of moving higher accordingly. So let me know your viewpoint on that. There's also another thing that I mentioned over my weekend video, that there was a lot of new analyst ratings. That was all posted Friday after hours. Kind of weird timing, but I think that's just the kind of upload schedule possibly, but a lot of new analyst ratings. So the market is digesting a lot of this, and in reality, a lot of bullish ones. So you did have Glenn, who gave a $9 price target, Gil, who has gave a buy $10 price target, Thomas 850 hold, and then Daniel Ives 15 buy. So even though Daniel Ives' rating did go down from 22, still $15 in comparison to where it is. Pretty good stuff. And so as a consensus of all the ratings, 1275 is that price target, representing a 17.3% upside from these levels. So a lot of good things. So obviously it's technicals, analyst ratings, and just the macro data points associated to tariffs. That's what's moving SoundHound higher. A lot of people online are saying that this is a squeeze play. Gonna burst your bubble a little bit and unfortunately say it is not right now, but if you do believe that SoundHound is a squeeze play, you might get a little bit more excited to find out that shorts are increasing right now, 535,000 shares. Clearly not doing all that much, and given how many shares shorts are out, so 115.94 million, they're losing a ton of money just today alone. So pretty amazing stuff overall, but as far as shorts and all of this moving higher is because of them, it's not necessarily the case, but 31.7% of the free float is being shorted. So definitely high stuff. And as you can kind of see, shorts have actually been increasing throughout the day. So no real reduction. Whether they kind of stick to that game plan or if they return in the second half of the day, we'll kind of wait and find out. But cost to borrow average is 1.6%. So that's an annual rate, not a daily rate. So just be somewhat aware of that. But looking at the options, 11 million in calls, 2.4 in puts. Very abnormal stuff for SoundHound. So a lot of volume getting in. 48% of all the options being done today are bullish in nature. And basically, as you can kind of see, currently 13.3, so most likely, given that the market's only been open 2 hours, will probably settle around that 22 to 25 million. So today will be a record for the options. So definitely that's something to keep in mind. So there's a lot more upside clearly anticipated. And over the last couple of days, you had 5.6, 8.4, and so forth. So pretty good stuff. Based on the bulls, you were seeing a consensus for it to be roughly around that 12 to 1250, and then the bears for it to be roughly around that kind of 950 to 10. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated based on all of this. So let me know your viewpoint on that. A lot of big transactions occurring both on the secondary market and dark pool. So for those of you that again watch my kind of channel, I like to go over where volume comes from, because sometimes you have algorithmic trading just artificially bringing up stocks higher and lower. This legitimately does show that big money is buying. Everything that you see as an ask right here is a buy. So definitely big money is really loading up. So pretty good stuff. So again, kind of showing that today is a legitimate green day, a good reason to potentially buy SoundHound up as what is happening based on all of this. Dark pool, as per usual, very, very popular, even more so than any other day, and that I do believe is just a lot of institutions again accumulating, and shorts love to use a dark pool as per usual. But with it right now at 1070, it is trading right between this R2 and this R1, so 1073 will be a good pivot, pretty much on that right now, and then 1204 is going to be the next strong target. So most likely, if this momentum does continue, kind of anticipate that to be touched very early on, either tomorrow or possibly in the following days. We have some big data points coming out tomorrow on a side note, so CPI, but definitely big things might be coming for SoundHound. Aside from all of that fun stuff though, no real articles coming out. I kind of saw some posts on StockTwits saying that also there was some resolution to one of their lawsuits, and I think we've seen a lot of that PR. So even if we go like looking at the recent press releases, blah, 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 lawsuit, blah, 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 lawsuit. Like there's just a lot of just those ambulance chasers. But again, rumored is that I guess SoundHound did kind of come to some deal with some of those. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart itself, let's give you a quick overview of that. This is a Neo, so you guys don't need that. But looking at SoundHound on the actual chart, it is right now above all the key pivotal moving averages. So Friday it was kind of in between, so it was sitting on that 50-day moving average. So today as well was a good bouncing off of that. So obviously every time resistance or support points are kind of touched, generally you have that consolidation and bounce. So that is also one thing that is really helping SoundHound move higher today. Next real point to watch for is going to be that 100-day moving average at 1230. But historically speaking, every time it does get above that 50-day moving average, holds it for roughly 2 or 3 consecutive days, this is where you do have a nice 30 to 35-ish% run. So again, today is going to be marking a very positive day, tomorrow as well. So if CPI comes in better than anticipated, then this is where you could see easily between that $13 to $15 range. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Have you been buying the dip? Did you sell? What's been kind of your general thoughts on SoundHound? I am very lucky to have gotten some additional shares as I shared with you over the weekend. I did sell a lot of puts leading into their earnings just in case there was a pullback. So I did sell 8, $8.50 and $9 strike price options. I only did sell 3 at the 9, and obviously with it closing below 9, that means I did get 300 shares. Wish I would have popped a little bit more on that, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are turning out for SoundHound. So give yourself a shout out, like I said, if you've been buying, if you've been selling. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been exactly on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.